Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Isaiah Key Ellington.
Good morning, sir. You're here in case 2021 CF 12401 AO on charge of battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting officer with violence, and resisting officer without violence. You're also here in case 2021 MO 1073 AO on charge of disorderly conduct, which is a violation of this Orlando City Ordinance Code. The City of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication and guilt and court costs if you want to resolve that last case, but it's up to you if you want to do that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
The City of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication and guilt and court costs if you want to resolve your ordinance case with them.
Okay.
That's something you want to do this morning. You got to answer me out loud.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Actually,
Your Honor, I was going to try to keep them
yeah.
consolidated because we may file something differently.
Well, and he has no history, so he may qualify for their. All right, put your hand down. You may qualify for one of the diversion programs from the city. So I'm looking at your criminal history. You don't have any. Someone do this. And Ms. Page, she doesn't qualify? Yeah. Oh, he wasn't interviewed. That's okay. All right, Mr. Kellington, I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. On straight pretrial release in all his cases. Conditions that you not return to the scene of the location where you were arrested. You also will not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. I was just looking at your case a few seconds ago. Okay, here's. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Roderick Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, you're here in case 2021 CF 12152 AO on charge of attempted homicide, aggravated assault with a firearm in 2 counts, shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling or structure or vehicle in 2 counts, unlawful discharge of a firearm in 2 counts, and criminal mischief of $1,000 or more in the last count. Judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in amount of $200,000, count 2, $150, count 3, $150, count 4, $150, count 5, $150, count 6, $150, count 7, $150, and count 8, $150. Condition of your bonds, not return to the scene of the location, may not have any contact with victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, including this victim's family. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. I want to have you talk to Mr. Brands because it looks like you have a question because everything you asked me is on the record.
Thank you, Ron.
Have a great day, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Susan Burpees.
Ma'am, you're here in case 2021 MM 6528AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Say, was there an offer to resolve?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer conveyed was an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to the travel lodge.
Ms. Perez, would you like to take that offer from the state of Florida?
I agree. Yes.
You want to take the offer from the state of Florida?
Sure. Please and thank you.
Yes, or?
Yes.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Yep. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yes.
You can put your hand down. Ma'am, we here on that case 2021 MM 6528AO on the charge of trespass after warning. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case?
No contests.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that you reviewed with Mr. Brantz?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
You say no or yes?
No, sir.
Right. Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yes, sir.
I did have an opportunity to review that charging affidavit, so I did find a factual basis of the entering of your plea. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. I want to give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond case 2021 CF 6111AO. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for your kindness.
All right. This is Felony Perry. Felony. Perry something.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And then Elegy, is it Elgini?
EL-GNDI.
I mean, he's gonna tell us how to say his name properly, most likely. All right.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Hill for Yusuf El-Jendi.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Yusuf El-Gendi.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 211AE on a charge of battery dating violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Ahmed El-Gendi, last name, same spelling, EL-GENDI.
All right. 1 second.
Judge, that's Mr. El-Jendi's brother,
Yeah.
older brother.
Sorry, there was a warrant for your arrest. The judge already found probable cause for your arrest. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So is the brother here just for,
Judge, he was here in case the court needed to verify anything, but, I mean, it's, Mr. El-Jendi is 18, no priors, full-time student, lived here for 5 years. I don't believe the state's asking for anything in terms of beyond the normal conditions, no contact. I'd ask for the low bond or OR, PTR, whichever the court is inclined to do.
all right.
I'm not, I don't need to call him.
No, okay. I just want to make sure, I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to call him as a witness. I was going to swear him in. That was my intention, like just trying to figure out is he was gonna serve a bond verification kind of purpose, or do you have some information that he needed to share with me that,
I don't think so. I mean,
Wait
I don't think
on
there's any
release
necessary
conditions.
additional testimony.
all right,
If there was any questions about his connections to the community, we could call him.
we qualify for pretrial release. So, Mr. Algendi, I'm going to set your bond amount $250. It's gonna cover pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You're gonna maintain a separate residence from this victim. If you have anything at her dorm room or her residence, you give you one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve your personal items from that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And you already have counsel representing you in this case. You should lean on his representations and his knowledge about these matters. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no-contact order?
No, sir.
Make sure you abide by my orders. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
And Morgan Perry. Yeah, I was wondering why this was. Yeah, please. This. Can somebody grab this no contact order from Perry? All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Morgan Perry.
Mr. Perry, you are, I'm sorry, counsel, can you put your name on the record?
Yeah, good morning. Ben Wartzel on behalf of Mr. Perry.
All right, Mr. Perry, you're here in case 2021 CF 9420 AO on the charges of false imprisonment, dating violence, battery, domestic violence by strangulation, battery, dating violence, and felony criminal mischief. 1 second.
Your Honor, information has been filed
Yeah, I
with
was
those
trying
4 charges.
Yep, I was gonna, as I was trying to switch to this case, I took note of that.
And if I could just be heard, not on the probable cause, I understand it's a warrant case, just on the issue of bond and release once Your Honor's ready. There's also a little bit of procedural history that's already occurred in this case. Judge O'Kane has already set bond on one of the charges.
All right. All right. All right. So you also have, you have information filed on your case where the charges are false imprisonment, domestic battery by strangulation, battery, and criminal mischief, both misdemeanor charges in counts 3 and 4. All right, so I want to set bonds in those cases accordingly as to that. And then Judge O'Kane set on count 3 a $500 bond.
Yes.
I should look at her note. Yeah, that's the count 3. I'm trying to pull up her. Trying to pull up her note here. The court note, court minute, I'm sorry.
And I can provide the court with context on any of the hearings that have occurred prior to today.
Raleigh, Orange County Jail. She said bond account 3, amount of $500, no contact, maintain separate residence. No action on the other outstanding warrant. All right. Looked like he was extradited from Missouri or something?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Perry was arrested in Clay County, Missouri on August 13th. We tried to get bond set because the information that was relayed to us was that he may be able to get an extradition bond if we could get the bond set here. However, given our circuit's administrative order regarding domestic violence being set at first appearance, Judge O'Kane requested that he in fact come through today. And with the understanding that bond would be set, but that she didn't have jurisdiction to impose the conditions of release while he was outside of our jurisdiction. So really, we're here today to set bond on counts 1 and 2 and conditions of release. And I can advise the court that we are stipulating to a no contact order with the victim. We would also stipulate to a condition of no return to the location of the incident, which was the Sonder at the Point Hotel, 7383 Universal Boulevard, Orlando, Florida, 32819. In terms of the bonds that we were going to, we previously asked the court, was a $5,000 bond on the false imprisonment and a $1,000 bond on the domestic violence battery by strangulation, and then the battery 500, criminal mischief 100.
Your Honor, the only thing the state would ask that you take into account is he is from Missouri, so he is from out of state. I understand he does have in-state counsel, and there is a temporary protection order.
Does anybody have the case number for that? That's what I was looking for.
The Missouri case?
Is it a Missouri protection order, or
Yes,
is it?
Your Honor.
All right.
But it is the same victim.
All right. All right.
And we've already coordinated with the bondsman who is going to act as a post the surety bond and
Yep.
with all the guarantees. We've
All right.
coordinated that with Mr. Perry's family.
All right, Mr. Perry, I'm going to set bond in count 1 in the amount of $1,000, count 2, $1,500, count 3, count 3 is already $500, and then count 4 is going to be $100. Condition of your bonds be subject to pretrial release supervision, will allow you to return to Missouri. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. You need to abide by the injunction that's in place in Missouri between you and that victim. You're not allowed, you may just not return to the scene of the location of the incident where this happened. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Say, are you requesting testing?
I'm sorry?
I was asking the state of Florida if they're requesting drug testing.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Judge, you're not allowed to possess any drugs, alcohol without a prescription? Go ahead, counsel.
I just want to clarify, is the court imposing bond and conditions of release, or is the court also placing him on pretrial release?
I'm imposing bonds and pretrial release on this case.
Okay, and the condition is that he will be allowed to return to Missouri?
Right.
And so I guess he'll be by call-in, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Random drug testing. All right, so you'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're out on release in this case. And obviously, you already have contact with Judge O'Kane. All my orders can be modified by her at a proper hearing. You already have counsel representing you in this case, so I suspect that you already should lean on his understanding and recollections and knowledge about these matters.
Your Honor, is there going to be a separate residences or just the no return or no contact?
Well, I can say maintain separate residences. I mean, it's kind of triple covered at that point now.
There's no objection to that, Your Honor. The parties do not live together. They are not married. They do not have children together. I think the no contact order would cover that, but if the court wants to issue a separate, maintain separate residence.
Well, I'm quite sure, well, I'll say maintain separate residence for the state's benefit. But you have an injunction in place that quite sure says something very similar to the no contact order you just signed. You have a no contact order from me. You also have an extra order in place that you maintain separate residence. So this, no contact. So you experience the extradition process. Don't violate my orders in Missouri, you'll get arrested. Your attorney will be in front of Judge O'Kane pleading for you not to be sent back here to the state of Florida on a no bond status. All right?
I think he understands. He spent 35 days in custody on
that's a-
2 F3s and 2 misdemeanors.
Yeah, and that was a quick trip, really. I mean, in all intents and purposes. From
They
Missouri.
flew him down last night, so.
Yeah, so that's a very quick trip. Usually, somebody put you on a little van, and then you ride from jail to jail until you get back to Florida, which can take months at sometimes, so,
Which we anticipated, so.
yeah. Yeah, he's allowed to return to his residence out of state. They don't live, the victim and him don't live together. As long as he's abiding by the injunction, everything should be good. All right, have a great day, sir.
Just to verify, those bond amounts was false imprisonment, 1,000, domestic violence battery by strangulation, 1,500, battery, 500, criminal mischief, 100.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's already part of the, certain court, it's in there, Just leave it like that, it's fine. All right, so I got interpreters.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has already been sworn.
Good morning, Madam Interpreter. This is Judge Van calling from the BRC. I have a defendant that needs your assistance this morning. Can we see if we can get the headphones set up so we see if we can make some contact? You may want to put that microphone up so it doesn't get double, you don't get an echo. No, the microphone on the headset needs to go up. Otherwise, the interpreter's going to hear, no, all the way up. The headphone, the microphone. There we go. No problem. All right, there we go. Can you see we make some contact?
There is contact, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jose Damiani.
Jose Damiani.
Sir, you're here in case 2020 CF 9110 AO on a failure to appear warrant. Judge signed your warrant in this case, set your bond at no bond. Your bonds will remain at no bond. I believe you already had a public defender representing you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. What do you want the public defender to represent you in this case?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. I will appoint them to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Madam Interpreter, can you make an announcement in the audience? Tell everybody, one, they can make sure their faces are covered. Two, that if they need your services, they can please raise their hand.
Las personas que se encuentren en la sala, por favor, asegúrense de tener puesta la mascarilla de manera que le cubra la nariz y la boca. Segundo, si alguna de las personas necesita los servicios del intérprete al español, por favor, levante la mano.
All right. From my angle, I don't see any hands. State, do you see anybody?
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. You have a great weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
All right. And this is, I'll get some people appear virtually at some point.
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Who is this?
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Ms. Webster, good morning.
Welcome to an Econo meeting.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing well. I guess I'm going to call your client up next, but can you mute yourself for a moment while I do that?
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm not sure. I think, no, sorry. Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Oscar Rodriguez is your client. I apologize.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. I'm losing it. It's Friday.
All right. You got a big game tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Oscar Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here in case 2021 CF 8931 AO on a charge of theft of state funds of $20,000 or more. And Mr. Webster, can you put your name on the record?
Yeah, Attorney Dave Webster on behalf of Mr. Rodriguez.
All right. Mr. Rodriguez, it looks like that your bondsman came off your bond, so what my intent was to do was just reinstate your bond in the amount of $3,500 as to this case. And you have an ongoing violation of probation, so you got to deal with that as well. All right.
So Judge, you put, so the record's clear, I'm just so I understand, you put a new $3,000 bond on that case?
Yeah, it's just $3,500.
Perfect.
It's like that, he bonded out and then the VOP came. So then,
Right. Yeah, I want him getting credit for the time while he's sitting in there. So,
yeah,
but once we get the VOP, we can rectify it. Then we can address. We can bond out.
correct. So you will, this will allow him to keep accruing time while he's in custody.
Yeah. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you.
All right.
Good luck tomorrow against Michigan State.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
All right. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Sheila Bradley's medical.
All right. There we go. Got Mr. Webster stuck there. All right. This is 2021 CF 12428AO. Will appoint a public defender to represent Ms. Bradley.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor. She does otherwise qualify for PTR and is a veteran of the U.S.
You are the only participant.
All right. I was going to set her bond in each count amount of $250. Condition of her bonds to be subject to pretrial release supervision. Did find probable cause for her arrest for tampering with a witness to hinder communication, law enforcement, and battery dating violence. No contact with the victim. Maintain separate residence. No weapons or firearms. One-time return with law enforcement. Needed to turn over any weapons or firearms to law enforcement within 24 hours. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Morning, Rhonda Haynes.
Ms. Haynes, you're here in case 2021 CF 12429AO on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of neglect of a child. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Ms. Page, I do have a question. Do we have a home confinement program again? Okay, I was wondering if someone. All right. All right, ma'am, I'm going to set your bond in each count in amount of $1,500. Condition of the bond, no contact with the victims in this case. You may not have any unsupervised contact with any child under the age of 18 years old while out on release in this case. May not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am.
Your Honor, are you going to set the condition to comply with DCF?
I'll say this, if there's an open case plan that you need to comply with, and we'll make a condition in your bond that you comply with the open case plan with the Department of Children and Families. No contact with the victims, no unsupervised contact with a child under the age of 18 years old. Yeah, no weapons, no firearms. Yep. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Cheston Daniel Jones, sir.
Mr. Jones, you're here in case 2021 CF 12430AL on charge of battery on a person 65 years or older. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this matter in the amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. Give you one-time return with law enforcement if you have any personal items left at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You got any questions about your no contact order, sir?
I have some items at the house that I'd like to pick up. Like my mother's, she passed back in March of this year, and the death certificate is on the inside of the car. I was trying to sell that yesterday.
Don't explain. Don't explain. Yeah, but like everything you need, everything you say to me is on the record. So my question is, do you understand the stipulation of no contact order? You have a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve your personal items.
Okay, yes, that's why.
So that's but that's the facts of your case. You need to say that was your counsel with your attorney. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? You just slide in front of a mic if you could. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Juan Cordero, Vega.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 MM6535AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond amount of $500. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision, no contact with the victim. You need to not return to the scene of the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Like you have a question, talk to Mr. Brantz. He'll be able to answer that for you. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you.
Thank you, Your Honor. As to the separate residences, Your Honor, he's informed me that the alleged victim does not live there, that it's in his name, so I was just informing him that if the alleged victim's not there, he can continue to stay there. Is that correct?
All right, so I'll do this. I'll strike them no return. I'll say maintain a separate residence. All right.
Your Honor, are you providing a one-time return in case he is there? The address he provided, the victim provided is the same address?
It's the same address?
Yes.
Yep, I'll give a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items he has.
Give us a call.
Get to the mic.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Tashani Dastrat.
Say it one more time.
Tashani Dastrat.
All right. Ma'am, we're here in case 2021 MM600AW on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
My name is Preston Kwame Linden Corbin. That's Corbin.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell me how you know the defendant in this case?
I'm the father of her 2 children.
All right, you can put your hand down, I'm sorry. And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
Yes.
When was the most recent one before this incident?
As far as my memory, off the top of my head, I'd say about 2 months ago.
All right. And did drugs and alcohol play a role in that incident?
No.
Is she seeing a mental health provider currently?
I'm not sure what mental health provider means, but she does see a therapist via Zoom, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. Does that therapist provide any medications that she's supposed to be taking?
As far as I'm concerned, not the therapist per se, but she was prescribed antidepressants.
All right. Has she been taking her antidepressants?
To my knowledge, no.
All right. All right, say, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Brantz?
No, no questions, Your Honor.
Just in regards to the victim's testimony that there's been prior acts, there is a non-arrest case from June 7th with Ms. Dastrat as the defendant and Mr. Corbin as the victim. That was from June 7th of this year.
So is anybody advocating for anything other than no contact?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brantz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you advocating for anything other than no contact?
As to the, can I approach on that, Your Honor?
Sure. All right, ma'am. I want to set your bond in this case in the amount of $250. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Second thing, you may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You were subject to random drug and alcohol testing. I've noted on your affidavit, your face sheet that you do have a medical marijuana card. So if you're taking that in what's prescribed, then that's fine. However, you also need to take any other psychotropic medications that are prescribed to you in the doses that you're prescribed. And you also could continue to maintain any mental health counsel appointments that you have while you're out on pretrial release in this case. You understand?
Right. Sir.
Your Honor, she does have an appointment with that therapist on Wednesday, so she'll be seeing them soon.
So continue to see your therapist, talk to your doctors about your medications, make sure they're appropriate for you, okay? You just don't stop, because that's sometimes worse than continuing on, all right? Yes, sir.
If I may, since I never pressed charges, am I able to drop charges at all, or is that not a thing?
Well, sir, the duty or power to prosecute or not prosecute cases all rests with the state of Florida. Victims have their input, but ultimately the decision lies with the state of Florida of whether they're going to prosecute or not. That's really up to them.
I respect that answer. It's just I was looking out for our children at this point.
Yep. So my orders, Judge Wayne Shoemaker is the division judge in this case. At some point, if you get in front of him at a bond motion or modification hearing, they can modify those conditions based on, her compliance with the current court orders and the decrease in possibility of her being rearrested. Because the problem usually comes when I order people to have no hostile contact. When I order people to have no hostile contact, that means that they can't fight. They can't argue. They can't argue in a way that's going to cause a fight where somebody can think that they're fighting or like they're getting loud. It usually causes problems more than it solves if the person's not ready to engage in that kind of relationship at that point. So right now, since no contact, you should maintain your situation with the kids, but it's always going to be modified later on to, involve those conditions once things are a little more settled down, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, talk to Mr. Brantz, because once again, everything you tell me is on the record, can be used against you in the court. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning. My name is Kiana Davis.
Ms. Davis, you're here in case 2021 MM6530AO on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. They did find probable cause for your arrest. Ms. Page, would you be a candidate for mental health pretrial release? Would you be a candidate for mental health pretrial release? I'm just asking, what do you think? Okay. Ms. Davis is going to release you on mental health pretrial release in this case, condition your pretrial release that you had no contact with the victim in this case. If you don't qualify for mental health pretrial release, it's going to set your bond amount of $250. Same conditions, no contact with the victim, no weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. In order to maintain a separate residence from the victim.
sir.
All right, have a great day, ma'am. I'm appointing the public defender to represent her. So I'm appointing the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Michael Green.
Mr. Green, you're here in case 2021 MM6531AO on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Shanique Bernard.
Can you spell your last name?
Bernard.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Green?
He's my boyfriend.
And do you want to have contact with Mr. Green while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with Mr. Green's domestic violence history?
No, sir.
State, would you like to tell the victim about that?
I don't see it within Orange County, Your Honor. One second.
I'm looking at an aggravated domestic battery, aggravated battery, domestic battery, aggravated battery on a pregnant person, another aggravated battery, 3 prior domestic battery arrests.
Yes. He has an aggravated battery, great bodily harm out of Osceola from 2017. He has a battery from 2016, Osceola. A battery with 2 prior batteries from 2007 from Osceola. A battery from 2007, Osceola. Battery on a firefighter from 2004, Osceola. A battery on a detention facility employee, 2002 from Osceola. Battery on a firefighter, 2002, Osceola. And then a 2000 battery also from Osceola.
All right, Ms. Bernard, knowing that information, do you still want to have contact with Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
And has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No, sir. Just verbal.
Mm-hmm. And did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No, sir.
Your Honor, per the affidavit, I do believe law enforcement wrote that it was not the first time the victim said that he had gotten physical with her.
Mm-hmm. All right. Say, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Brands?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Green, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $2,500. It's going to come. We're going to order that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Do you have any questions about the stipulations of your no contact order?
Thank you.
All right. I can't hear you.
I said no thank. No, sir.
Yep. Please make sure you comply with the stipulations on my order. And everything goes swimmingly while you're out on release in this case. All right. Have a great day. Have a great. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, he doesn't qualify. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Well, yep. Let me just slide a little bit right in front of a microphone so I can hear you.
Taisha Hedgeman.
All right. Ma'am, you're here in case 2021 MM 6533 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this matter the amount of $250. Additionally, your bond that you will be subject to pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement within 24 hours. One-time return with law enforcement retrieving any personal items that you have. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order?
No.
You said no?
No, sir.
All right. You have a great day, ma'am. Hello. There we go. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Henny Jimenez Hernandez.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, you're here in case 2021 MM 6524 AO on charge of battery dating violence. Did review the charging affidavit. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Christina Mazzaferro, Mazzaferro.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Jimenez?
My boyfriend for a year and a half.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
Never.
And did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
Yes. I was drinking when I called the cops.
Okay. Were you all drinking?
No, he really didn't drink as much as I did. I was drinking and wasn't thinking right and called the cops. I told the cops not to bother with him, and they still said they had to.
Sure. Say, you got any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Brantz?
No questions, Your Honor.
Does anybody want to advocate for anything other than no hostile contact?
No, Your Honor.
Other than he otherwise does qualify for pretrial release and if he's allowed to return to New Jersey.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, I'm going to set your bond in count one in the amount of $250. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision. We're going to allow you to return to New Jersey. We're going to order that you have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. No hostile contact means this. You want to check me out? You cannot, there can be no threats. There can be no abusive language used. There obviously can't be any violence. There can't be a situation where somebody that sees you all arguing, sees or hears you all arguing, calls law enforcement because you're going to be arrested. You're going to be in violation of my orders at that point. You're going to be at a no bond status. They're going to send you back on a little van from New Jersey all the way back here. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You okay there, sir?
So I can talk to her, you said?
No, I ordered you to have no hostile contact. So you can talk to her, but those conversations, those discussions between you all, or even arguments between you all, that she left the toilet seat up or made a mess that you didn't clean up, or she's just mad with you because you're not giving her the correct affection that she wants, those kind of arguments cannot turn violent. There can be no threats made. You can't use abusive language with her. Because if your neighbor sees, or your friend sees, or somebody else sees, or whether this happens again, she feels like she's going to call the police on you, you're going to get arrested.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be in violation of my orders at that point. And then you're going to be here on no bond status.
Yes, sir.
All right?
I have a question. When does he get released?
Whenever he posts the bond.
Okay, perfect.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Miss Travis.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Hold on a second.
Lawrence Johnson's mental health.
All right, let me try this. I saw Miss Travis is in the second session. I'll deal with Johnson, and then can you bring up Mariah Vargas?
You know what section that's from, Your Honor?
Okay.
You know what section that's from?
Second session, felony.
Okay, thank you.
All right. This is Mr. Johnson, though, 2021 MM 6536AO. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Johnson.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Johnson is here on a charge of charge of assault, domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause, going to set bond in this case amount of $1,000. Addition to bond, no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence. Give him one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items he has at the location. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Mariah Vargas.
Ms. Vargas, you're here in case 2021 CF 3956VO on a charge of money laundering in count 1, fraud in count 2, money laundering in count 3, racketeering in count 4, and conspiracy to commit racketeering in count 5. The judge in this case already signed a warrant for your arrest, finding probable cause.
Yes, Your Honor, and information has also been filed.
That was true. I'm sorry. And counsel, can you put your name on the record?
Jessica Travis on behalf of Ms. Vargas.
All right. And Ms. Travis, did you want to tell me anything prior to me setting bond? I think the information is racketeering in count 1, count 2, racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, money laundering in counts 85 and 86, and
The structuring transaction.
structuring transactions in count 87.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, Your Honor. I would ask, she's currently on a no bond. I would ask that Your Honor set bond in these cases because they are first-degree felonies not punishable by life. She is entitled to a bond. I have spoken with her family members who will be posting bond, and they have informed me that they can afford a $25,000 bond, so I would request that Your Honor set bond in that amount.
All right. I just got a question. I don't have all the other cases because this is not the ones I've seen on them all. Are there other current bonds for racketeering? Are they being set at the standard bond amount? Because that's like $500,000. So I was trying to.
Yes, Your Honor, that's what's standard. And that's what.
No, I was trying to also ask Ms. Travis because she's, more involved in this case than.
Your Honor, I have not looked at the other co-defendants' bond amounts. I do know, just to note, that she is co-defendant V as in Victor, so she is pretty far down on the list. She actually was just in the amended information, the initial information. I don't believe even charged her. So because of her lower amount of involvement in the case, I would be requesting a lower bond than the standard $500,000.
And Your Honor, state's asking for the standard $500,000. This could be set with statewide and a bond hearing later to reduce it. However, that is standard, and given the brevity of the charges, given they are all first-degree felonies, state believes it's reasonable.
You know who your statewide prosecutor is? Assistant statewide prosecutor.
It's Michael Latu is who filed the information. I reached out to him this morning and to see if he was going to appear, and I didn't get a response, Your Honor.
Ms. Travis, have you had any conversations with Mr. Latu?
I haven't, Your Honor. I just received the information actually from one of the co-defendants. Her case is still confidential, even to me after I filed my notice of appearance. So I haven't been able to see any specific information about her case.
All right. One second here.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, so you may put your hand down.
Give me 1 second here. Let me look at it.
All right, so you've heard what your attorneys presented to the court. Do you agree with that presentation? At this time, you're prepared to enter a plea of admission to violation of probation in both cases, 2016 CF 13529 and 2016 CF 15588. Your Honor, my plea does say no contest. Oh, okay. All right. Are you ready to plead no contest? Do you understand that by entering the pleas, you give up your right to have a hearing and the right to make the state prove that you violated probation? You also understand you're giving up your right to testify at those hearings, call witnesses in your defense, or to confront witnesses who will testify against you. Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter the pleas? Are you doing this of your own free will? Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication today? And are you satisfied with the services of your attorney? Have you had a chance to read the plea forms in their entirety and review them with your attorney? And did you
All right,
understand
so
the constitutional rights you're waiving?
I'm looking at the principal defendant, A. His bonds for RICO are $100,000, $25,000 for the other racketeering charge, and then $25,000 for his remaining charges.
I will file the recommended disposition. I will revoke and terminate your probation or a new term of probation for a period of 1 year. Special condition will be that you successfully complete the Orange County Adult Drug Court Program. I will maintain.
So I'll do that. At least that's the racketeering count. Ms. Travis, I'll set her bond in count 1 amount of $100,000. Count 2, the remaining counts I'll set at $150. So $150 on the remaining counts. In addition to bond, she has no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants in this case. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And Mr. Travis, I want to take your representation that the family is going to be bonding her out.
Yes, Your Honor. I've spoken to her mother, who will be bonding her out with her other family members.
Because she's unemployed, so otherwise, usually I would make her verify where that money's coming from. But I'll take your representation that the family is going to bond her out in this case.
Your Honor, I just got an email back from the statewide saying that he could get on. Would you like
Coming
me to?
in?
I'm sorry?
You can join. All right, Travis, I guess our prosecutor is going to join us in a second, so I want to, Mrs. Vargas, can you step back for a moment and while our other counsel joins us here?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's going to change the.
You said 13,000?
Yes. 1,000. I'm sorry. $1,345.
Oh, okay. I'm
sorry. $1,345.28.
All right. Thank you so much. This is okay. I am not. All right. Glad we got that cleared up. All right. So please make sure you pay that at the rate of no less than $10 per month. Continue to make monthly payments, and to each case, the amount of $10 or more to the amount paid in full. All right. Anything else for today?
All right. I guess we can keep going while we wait for Mr. Statewide. This is, next person I have was Martinez. Israel Martinez. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? You got to step a little closer so you can get in front of the mic. Thank you.
Martinez.
There you go. Mr. Martinez, you're here in case 2021 MM420AA on charge of resisting officer without violence and battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $100, count 2, $500, conditional your bond, had no contact with the victim in this case, maintain separate residence from this victim, one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Mr. Martinez, do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order?
Can you repeat that for me, please?
Do you have any questions about the stipulations on the no contact order you just signed?
No.
All right. You have a great day, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, hold on, wait. I want to talk to Mr. Brantz because everything you asked me is on the record and can be used against you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Rodriguez, you're here in case 2021 MM6526AO on charge of battery. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500, conditioning your bond that you had no contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence from the victim, give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You're on probation in Volusia. Say you ask not to take any action on that violation of probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir. And your own court's going to find all of you violation of probation in case 2020 CF 12438 from Volusia County. Going to set your bond at no bond. You're also out on bond in case 2021 CF 4640AO. The court's going to revoke that bond and set a new bond at $0. I want to appoint the public defender in all those cases to make sure you have representation. You have a great day, sir. And state, did you send him the link or you told him to contact Ms.
I
Figueroa?
told him to contact Ashley because I do not have it, Your Honor.
You can let him know it's also on the Ninth Circuit website underneath my bio. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Morning, sir. DeLagion Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here in case 2021 MM601AW on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case about $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations of your no contact order, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right. You have a great day, sir. Yeah, I'm waiting. You just click on the link and you'll connect. You'll join our meeting. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Douglas Edward Aldridge.
What happened to Cassandra Clinton Bell?
Temporary release, Your Honor.
I can't hear you.
Temporary release.
Did she go to Polk County? What's temporary release? Oh, she's in the hospital. Okay. All right. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Ms. Clinton Bell.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, she's here from a Polk County VOP warrant. Her bond is no bond. Bonds remain at no bond until she gets over to Polk County. All right, sorry, sir. Tell me your name one more time.
Douglas Aldridge.
Mr. Aldridge, you're here in case 2020 CF 14218 AO on a failure to appear warrant. Judge in this case set your bond at no bond. The bonds can remain at no bond. You're also here in case 2020 CF 14762 AO for violation of probation. Judge in that case sign the warrant setting your bond at no bond. Your bonds can remain at no bond. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in all these cases if you're not already represented. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, I have him here for 3 cases.
I was looking for the other case.
I
It
have
wasn't on my
20
docket.
CF 14762, 21 CF 227, and 20 CF 14218.
Can somebody grab Mr. Aldridge, because it wasn't on my, I have 3 cases on my face sheet, but it wasn't on my, oh, here it is. I see it now.
You back, Your Honor?
Yeah, can we grab Mr. Aldridge for,
You addressed 2 of them, Your Honor.
yeah. Well, just, yeah, 2, you got one more. All right, sorry about it, Mr. Aldridge. You had one more violation of probation case, 2021 CF 227 AO. Judge signed your warrant for that violation of probation, set your bond at no bond. Your bonds remain at no bond. You're also a violent felony offender of special concern, sir. Not going to be entitled to release on bail or bond on this case until your violation of probation goes to hearing. You have a great day, sir. All right. All right. It says Jessica Travis up there on my screen, so maybe somebody else on the line with us now?
Michael Filto, on behalf of the Office of Statewide Prosecution, I am here.
There we go. Can we get Ms. Vargas back? Said Mr. Falcone. Counsel, say your name one more time.
Michael Filto.
Filto.
F as in Frank, I-L, T as in Thomas, E-A-U.
Pilto. All right. Mr. Pilto, I don't know if you can see Ms. Travis. She's here with us as well with counsel for Ms. Miranda Vargas in case 2021 CF 3956 VO. Did you have, my intent was to set bond in her first count on her information racketeering amount of $100,000 and set $150 bonds as her remaining counts. Do you all have a different agreement that you all came up with?
That would be fine with the state. I would just ask that as a non-monetary condition of bond that she be required to have no contact with her co-defendants.
Yeah, no, I already had no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants in this case. This was the condition of her bond. She's also not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything else? All right.
Not from defense.
Nothing from the state.
All right. Thank you all. Have a great weekend, Ms. Travis. Have a great weekend, Mr. Pilto, and have a great day, Ms. Vargas.
You are the only participant.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
I'm Scott Dixon.
Mr. Dixon, we're here in case 2015 CF 16371 AO for violation of probation. Judge signing your warrant in this case is set your bond at no bond. Your bond is going to remain at no bond in this case. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Gordon Ashton Krupenbacher.
All right. Sir, you're here in case 2019 CF 14656 AO for violation of probation. Judge in the case signed your warrant setting your bond at no bond. Your bond is going to remain at no bond in this matter. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Dario St. Clair.
Mr. St. Clair, you're here in case 2021 CF 1993 AO for violation of probation. Judge signing your warrant in your case set your bond at no bond. Your bond is going to remain at no bond in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Does anybody need a comfort break before we start second? All right, we need to take a 5-minute comfort break. We'll reconvene at 10:40. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Judge Robert Arcee.
Mr. Arcee, here in two matters. The first one is 2021 MM 6532 AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. You're also here in case 2021 MO 1070 AO on charge of open container. They review both charging affidavits. Did find probable cause for your arrest as to both of those charges. State, do you have an offer as to the misdemeanor case?
Yes, Your Honor. As to the trespass, the offer conveyed was an adjudication, credit time served, and no return. And you're aware of the city's offer on the open container.
And the offer from the city? And the other case is a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs. You want to resolve your cases with the city and the state, Mr. Arcee?
Yes, Judge.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, none but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 6532 AO on charge of trespass after warning as a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
In misdemeanor city ordinance case 2021 MO 1070 AO, open container is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, Judge.
You want to enter pleas of guilty or no contest to resolve these two cases?
I plead no contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest in both cases, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, I'm not.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, Judge.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yes, I'm a citizen.
I had an opportunity to review both your charging affidavits. Did find the factual basis contained in both cases for your arrest, for your plea, I'm sorry. You're going to accept your plea of no contest in both cases. Finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to, it's 2021 MM 6532 AO. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. You'll be credited for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs and cost of prosecution in that case of $273. In 2021 MO 1070 AO, I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt. Give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail. The court costs in that case of $223. I'm going to run that case concurrent to your other case, 2021 MM 6532 AO. I'm going to combine both of these cases for costs, give you 2 years from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing in each case. You understand, Mr. Arcee?
I'm sorry?
You understand that you have 30 days to appeal?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I thought I was done.
No, I'm just saying, you understand? You say,
Yes,
okay,
I
great, but that was in
understand.
a, all right, yes, you understand. There we go. All right, Mr. RC, we're starting to pick back up in our meetings, so we're gonna slow down a little bit, all right?
Yeah, I understand.
All right, have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Darius Hamilton bonded.
Hamilton. Hamilton. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Derek Bruce Kinzer. How you doing, Your Honor?
Doing well. How are you? Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM6529AO on charge of resisting officer without violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Take a quick question. This other, this case just happened then. You didn't have an opportunity to file on this other trespass case? The open case. He has an open case. That's what I'm trying to see if it was filed on.
Is out on bond case?
Yep.
We filed on it 9/13.
And do you have an offer to resolve all his cases?
Not at this time, Your Honor, due to it being a threat to Leo.
Oh, because you haven't talked to the Leo about it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, do you have an offer to resolve this case?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer to convey to defense was an adjudication, credit time served.
Mr. Kinzer, do you want to accept the state's offer of adjudication of guilt, credit time served to resolve this case?
No contest?
If you'd like to. Well, do you want to resolve the case is the question first.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
All right, you put your hand down, sir. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM6529AO on charge of resisting officer without violence. They reviewed the charge, sorry, that's a first degree misdemeanor punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case with the court?
Yes, no contest, Your Honor.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Understood.
I did have an opportunity to review your charging affidavit, so I did find a factual basis contained therein. Going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge, give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs of prosecution in this case are $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing.
Okay.
I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond case 2021 MM6045AO. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Michael Lee Bennett.
Mr. Bennett, you're here in case 2021 MO1071AO on charge of open container. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. The city of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs. Do you want to resolve that case today?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, sir, you put your hand down. Sir, you're here in that Case for open container, that's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
I don't understand.
Your maximum penalties for this charge is 60 days in Orange County Jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case?
Contest, no contest.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, and medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
In the past, yes, I was.
What was that mental health illness?
Schizophrenia.
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of schizophrenia right now?
No.
Do you take any medications for your schizophrenia?
Yes, I do.
All right, what medications are you on?
Zoloft, Risperdal, and Kogenic.
All right. Do those medications help you understand the world around you?
Yes, it does. Very, very good.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yes, I understand.
They have an opportunity to view a charging affidavit. Did find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. I'll accept your plea of no contest. Find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll withhold adjudication of guilt. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail. 2 days credit time served. Court costs in this case are $223. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. I want to suggest that you don't mix those medications that you're on and alcohol. Very dangerous.
Yeah, I did that before, and I learned my lesson. I never did it again.
Yeah, I was saying very.
Get real sick.
Yeah, you can. That's a very. You might die, so you may not want to do that. All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Come on, sir. Tell me your name.
Rochelle Gordon.
Mr. Gordon, you're here in case 2021 MO1072AO on a charge of open container. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. I believe the city of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs if you want to resolve your case with them today. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. Sir, that charge of facing an open container is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
No contest.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
I don't understand the question.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness? Have you ever had a doctor say you had a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Depression, schizophrenia, schizoaffective,
No, sir.
those kind of conditions?
No.
All right.
No.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you in this plea?
No.
You understand if you're not a United States citizen, entering this plea could subject you to deportation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I had an opportunity to view a charging affidavit, did find a factual basis contained therein. You're going to accept your plea of no contest, finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, but on withhold adjudication of guilt. Give you credit for the 2 days that are spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs of prosecution in this, court costs in this case are $223. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning. My name is Stephen Sloan.
Mr. Salone, you're here in two matters. The first one being 2021 CT 6350 AO on charge of DUI or property damage. You're also here in case 2021 CT 6351 AO on a charge of driver license suspended. 1 second here. All right, going to set your bond in count one, in 2021 CT 6350, about $1,000. In 2021 CT 6351 AO, going to set your bond in that case about $500. Condition of the bonds are going to be the same in both cases. You're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug testing in each case. You're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you in both cases. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, Chris Bryant, refused.
All right, it's case 2021 CF 6279 AO. Going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Bryant.
Waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, he was arrested on a warrant for failure to return a hired or leased personal property or vehicle. The judge signed his warrant, has already found probable cause. It's going to say his bond amount of $1,000. All right. Good morning, sir. Sir, can you tell me your name? Mr. Chang, you're here in case 2021 CF 12399 AO on charge of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count one, amount of $1,000, count two, $100. Condition of bond, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And you'll be subject to random drug testing in this case. Not going to take any action on your auto bond case 2021 CF 7646 AO. Mr. Chan, you may want to look into drug court. Like you seem like you got a problem, my friend. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jack Clark.
Mr. Clark, you're here in case 2021 CF 12411 AO on charge of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond to count one, amount of $1,000, count two, $100. Condition of your bond that you not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Not going to take any action on your 2021 MM 4315 AO case. All right, you got to slide in front of the mic, my friend. Thank you. There you go. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Frederick Carrington.
Mr. Carrington, you are here in case 2021 CF 11897 on a charge of aggravated stalking with credible threat. 1 second here. Judge signed your warrant in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. All right, and state.
Yes, Your Honor. In regards to bond, he is entitled to a bond. However, I'll just bring your attention to his history. He does have prior history of a conviction with a firearm and prior convictions of batteries. And the allegations in the warrant are pretty troublesome. That seem to escalate over time from, I believe, July 31st until August 10th on threats to, I don't want to say within open court, Your Honor, but saying that he was on his way with his boys to her house, sending her pictures of her house, sending her pictures and addresses of her family's houses, saying that her mother's been in a car accident, and she had her phone and eyeballs, posting fake photos online on dating apps saying mature woman, open-minded, with the victim's photos, describing the victim's neighborhood and her security gate, sending her explicit photos of himself, saying he found a spot and hopped over the wall to walk around her block, as well as other threats, including to make her eat expletive. And is going to make her pay for getting him fired. Your Honor, the allegations in the affidavit are incredibly troublesome for the victim. And given his prior history with a firearm and prior batteries, so we just asked you to take that all into account when setting a bond in this case. It seems incredibly personal.
Yeah.
Including going to her
Yeah.
house.
Ms. Brantz, going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Cruden.
Your Honor, Mr. Curtin is entitled to a reasonable bond, even though the allegation seems serious. If state wished to hold him no bond, they would need to file a pretrial detention motion, being that there isn't a motion, nor is this one of the charges that is a constitutional exception. I would just have you set reasonable bond in this case. If you are concerned about the conditions of release, there are some conditions you can set that aren't usually included in a standard injunction. You can have him turn over any and all weapons he may possess. You can have him you can set a curfew for the defendant. You can also require a pretrial release supervisor to keep a schedule of where they will be and when, similar to community control, Your Honor.
And understanding that, Your Honor, he does have a prior probation violation, showing an inability to comply with court orders. So while defense counsel says you can do a curfew, I don't think it'd be reasonable to, under the circumstances of this case.
It says see additional notes on his, that the mother resides in Georgia, that's the reason why he didn't qualify?
Unable to verify any community ties.
Well, it seems like they spoke to his mom, but mom doesn't. Yeah. All right.
Your Honor, even if he did qualify, state would object to PTR, given his prior arrest history as well of
Well, I mean,
allowing a child to engage in sex, stalking, sexual cyber harassing.
well, this is, I mean, along the same, I mean, they charged him with aggravated stalking with a credible threat, but a lot of it seems to be along the same lines of what he was doing
Before
when he was a juvenile.
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Cruden, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $7,500, condition your bond. No contact. Actually, let me give him a no contact order, please. So I'm going to give you, Mr. Cruden, I'm going to go over this no contact situation. No in-person contact, no face-to-face contact, no third-party contact. It can be within 500 feet of her residence, 500 feet of her place of work, 500 feet of the place of where her vehicle. Can I have any contact? Carrier pigeon. You can't post on social media where she would see it or somebody you know will see it. Well, we'll have to show contact. No writing letters in the sky, no passing notes in class, zero. Absolutely no contact. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now look at me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of her release. I'm going to put on order that you not return to her residence or in her. Don't violate my orders. You understand? You can talk to anybody on the way while you're leaving here about people that violate my no contact orders. They stay here with me, hanging out while their case is pending on no bond status. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is not juvenile court. Nobody's coming to get you. You're gonna stay here. There's no 21 days or any of that. All right?
Yes, sir. So you said
Yes, sir.
He said I'm not staying here.
Your Honor, Mueller Dorcuse, medical.
All right, it's case 2021 CF 12418 AO on Mr. Dorsil, maybe? Dorsilis? Going to appoint a public defender to represent him?
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor. I read it as Mr. Dorcas.
Dorcas? How do you say it? What do you want?
I said Dorcas because I know
Dorcas?
that is a surname, I think. But I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Dorcas or? Dorsilis?
Medical.
Let's go with Dorcas. Cool. He's not here to, he's not here to correct us, so. All right, I did find probable cause for his charges of criminal mischief, felony criminal mischief in count 1, battery count 2, and criminal mischief in count 3. We're going to release him on pretrial release in this case. Condition of his pretrial release that he have no contact with the victim in the case, not return to the scene of the location, may not have any contact with any witnesses, may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Hey, good morning. My name is Willis Edward, Senior.
Mr. Edward, you're here in case 2021 CF 12419 AO on charge of grand theft motor vehicle and resisting officer without violence. I did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Conditions of your pretrial release: no contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. No weapons, no firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice day, too.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Crystal Ferguson.
Ms. Ferguson, you're here in case 2021 CF 8483 AO for a failure to appear warrant. Judge in that case set your bond in the amount of $1,000. You're also here in case 2021 CF 12420 AO on charges of grand theft motor vehicle and giving a false name or report to law enforcement.
Your Honor. Can I be heard on one of those, the first charge in that case?
Sure.
I believe the arrest affidavit suggested that the ignition had been tampered with, but that she was a passenger in that vehicle.
She was.
And that it was pointed in her general direction. I don't remember what the verbiage that the officer used, but would you find PC for that charge, Your Honor?
The engine had been punched, which would lead an person of normal prudence to understand that the vehicle was not in the legal possession of the driver. There was a screwdriver that used to turn it on. Since the engine was punched, the court can find PC for grand theft motor vehicle. The defendant or the other defendant, the driver of the vehicle, had the keys. We could only find PC for trespass because a reasonably prudent person would not know that the vehicle was stolen. However, given that the engine was punched, a reasonably prudent person should know that the driver was not in lawful possession of that vehicle.
Well, how are we dealing with that? Can we go ahead and just bring up Mr. Penthetin? Alexander, the co-defendant in this case. Pentheny? Pentheny, maybe? Pentheny, there you go. Yep, Alexander. We're already in deep discussion about this case. Might as well get everybody, all the parties. Step up to that mic right there, sir. Yep, come on up. Tell me your name, sir.
Alexander Scott Penthony.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 12421AO for a charge of grand theft motor vehicle and possession of fentanyl. All right. So they review your charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. So now we're talking about Ms. Ferguson in 2021 CF 12420AO. Mr. Brands is asking me to find no probable cause because she was not the driver of the vehicle. In a vehicle where I think the jury instruction says that a tampering with the ignition would lead somebody to believe that the car was stolen. Is that, am I correct in that jury instruction?
Yes, Your Honor. That was the state's argument. A reasonable prudent person would see that the engine had been tampered with.
All right. Well, Mr. Brands, what is your response to that, to the state's argument that the jury instruction says?
As to the jury instructions, no argument, Your Honor.
All right, all right, so based on that jury instruction, the court is going to find probable cause for Ms. Ferguson for grand theft motor vehicle, set her bond amount of $1,000. Count 2, $100. Addition to bond, no contact when your victim is witness or co-defendant. B, your co-defendant to your left. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You subject to random drug and alcohol testing in these cases. You are out on bond in case 2021 CF 3041AO, as well as 2021 CF 4241AO. Court finding probable cause that you committed a new law offense while you're out on release in those cases. They're going to revoke those bonds. Set new bonds in amount of $0.
Your Honor, it was my understanding you said there was a $1,000 bond on the failure to appear.
That's what I thought the warrant said. I can go back. Let's go back and look. Yeah, I saw a bond correction form for $1,000.
Okay, there was a bond correction. Thank you.
And as to Mr. Is it Pentheny? Say your last name again.
Pentheny.
Pentheny. Mr. Pentheny, going to set your bond in your case 2021 CF 12421AO, an amount of $1,000 is to count 1. $150 is to count 2. No contact when any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants in that case. May not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, subject to random drug and alcohol testing. You are out on bond for another possession of fentanyl and drug paraphernalia case, 2021 CF 6054AO. In that case, you're going to set your bond, revoke that bond, set a new bond in count 1 in amount of $5,000 and count 2 $5,000. Addition to bond, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, subject to random drug and alcohol testing in that case as well. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you both? Yes, ma'am. You only filed on one count? All right, so $5,000 on the one count. ROR as to the other count. Still same conditions. You got to count 2 ROR because they don't file on it. I just want to make sure that count 1's 5,000. Yes. Addition of the bond, no drugs or alcohol without valid prescription, random drug testing. In our FTA? Sorry, let's go back. Ms. Ferguson, Madam Clerk, saying you have conditions as to your FTA?
Both those
All right,
cases,
so
Your Honor?
all right, part of your failure to appear, $1,000 bond, no contact with victims or witnesses or co-defendants in that case. And no return to the scene of the location. All right, everybody have a great day. And Graham. That's an easy last name. All right. Go on, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, sir. Terrence Lamont Graham.
Mr. Graham, you're here in case 2021 CF 12426AO on charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy. Ms. Page, will you qualify? I'm not sure of his arrest history. Well, no. Oh, never mind. Take it back. I just saw that. Apologize. All right, Mr. Graham, I'm going to set your bond amount of $1,000. Condition your bond, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, be subject to random drug testing. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day.
Thanks, sir.
I didn't expect anybody to see anybody out. I didn't expect to see anybody out with that charge, like out and about. You must have got a sweet deal. Huh? What was that? Well, I was talking about the first degree murder. Is somebody say a conviction for first degree murder? I was not expecting him to be out and about. So he must have got a nice deal. All right. Here we go. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kareem.
Say, what's your name?
Kareem.
What's your last name?
Hillary.
Mr. Hillary, you're here in case 2021 CF 12427 AO on charge of carrying a concealed firearm. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $1,500. Issue the bond, no weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Your Honor, you would also request no contact with the witness.
All right, and no contact with any victims or witnesses in that, witnesses or co-defendants in that case. You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 1309 AO for a charge of robbery with a firearm. Of course, going to revoke that bond. I'm going to set a new bond at $0 in that case. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in any case that you're not already represented. Mr. Hillary, you are a extremely young man. You may want to start upping your value of your life, sir, because the state of Florida knows exactly how much it's going to cost to house you for the rest of your life. So, you know, you want to think about value and what your value of your life is to you. If you want to give it away to the state of Florida, they'll take it. Just co-defendant witnesses and no contact with the victims in a robbery case. No bond. Yep. Or witnesses. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Rashid Hooks.
Mr. Hooks, you're here in case 2021 CF 12408 AO on charge of DUI with property damage or personal injury and driver license suspended as habitual traffic offender. You're also here in case 2021 CF 12402 AO on charge of battery on law enforcement officer and battery. And you're also here in case 2021 CF 12403 AO on charge of driver license suspended as a habitual traffic offender. Give me 1 second here. All right, it's like they duplicated the driver license suspended as a habitual traffic offender.
Your Honor, what?
Like they duplicated the charge. Like they charged them in 12408 as a habitual traffic offender, and then they wrote them another citation for 12403.
Your Honor, State would just ask that you find no PC and RORMS to one of them.
All right. So on the last one, I'll do that. All right, so in 2021 CF 12408 AO, going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $150, count 2, $2,500, condition of your bond that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, be subject to random drug and alcohol testing. You Not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. In 2021 CF 12402 AO, want to set your bond in count one, found a probable cause for battery on law enforcement officer at $1,000, count two, $100. In 2021 CF 12403 AO, it's a duplicate charge. Going to release you on recognizance as to that charge.
Your Honor,
It's PC, but it's just, it's just the duplicate charge is RR.
regarding the 12402, the battery cases, they would ask for no contact with victims or witnesses.
Yep. All right, 12402, no contact with any victims or witnesses in that case, no weapons, no firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Mr. Hooks. You go to jail for a long time for getting into a car accident with no license.
Well, I can't.
And somebody gets seriously hurt, or somebody dies because you don't have a license. You're a habitual traffic offender. You don't go to prison for driving. That's like a really crazy thing. So,
That's sweet.
I don't know why your license is suspended. I don't know. I'm just telling you. He is out on bond?
Your Honor, he is out on bond for stalking.
Oh, sorry.
He just picked that up less than a month ago, August 18th.
1 second. Let me look at that case real quick. That's what I meant to do. All right. All right, looks like Judge Brewer ordered you back on August 20th of this year to not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription as part of your release conditions in that case. Go ahead, Mr. Brents.
As
You
to
have a
that
defense
particular release condition, I believe our client is a pharmaceutical tech. You can probably see that could be a conflict with that condition. Is there a way to set the condition as for work purposes only?
Well, I'm more concerned that in 2021 MM5796 AO, he was arrested for a stalking domestic violence charge. Judge Brewer ordered him as part of his release conditions not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. There's probable cause that he's consumed drugs or alcohol as far as his domestic violence, driving under the influence charge. So it's more of a question about what is the reasoning you should have that I should not revoke his bonds as to his domestic violence case?
Just a moment, Your Honor.
I'll just, as it's open, like the new cases, I'll modify the order to say no drugs, alcohol, without valid prescription, or for work purposes only. The DUI case, the 12408. All right.
Your Honor, our client hasn't had any contact with the alleged victim in that out-on-bond stalking case. Further, I don't believe that a sobriety test was administered in the current case. So I would just have you consider that in your determination. If we don't have any, without that sobriety test, we may not have enough evidence to see that he was consuming or utilizing drugs or alcohol during this event. I think it's just the charges without the sobriety test results in place, according to a conversation with our client.
Your Honor, respectfully, you can go on a DUI case without breath test results. Being a county court judge, I know you've dealt with many of those DUI cases, so defense counsel's argument doesn't really hold much weight. You can go alone on officer observations as well as independent observations. He was ordered by Judge Brewer to have consumed no drugs or alcohol. He is allegedly consuming drugs or alcohol when he picked up this DUI case, and there's many facts within the affidavit that support that. by observation as well as the independent witness observation. In regards to the stalking DV case, while he was out on bond, he was granted those conditions. In that case, it is also violent in nature. Some of the threats he made were a killer, to slash her tires, damaging her property. It's a violent case by nature, and he picked up other violent cases, the battery and the bat Leo. State would ask that you revoke. He violated court orders as well as picked up a new violent offense while out on bond for a violent offense.
Your Honor, can our client be heard?
You understand, oh, wait, say, Mr. Hooks, you understand everything you can say is gonna be used against you? Yes.
All right, so, Judge, I'm a strict Muslim. I don't smoke or drink. I don't eat pork. I don't do any of that stuff. So when the situation that happened that you guys are occurring to, as soon as the officers see me,
I mean,
You're veering into
go ahead.
Okay, you're right.
Listen, you said as soon as the officer saw you?
I think
I'm
that's
done.
it.
I just want to let you know that.
Oh, I mean, are you taking your advice of counsel not to talk to me, or are you?
I just wanted him to let the court know about his religious beliefs and his aversion to drugs, alcohol, and other dietary restrictions.
Respectfully, we still have observations, Your Honor, which is sufficient to sustain a conviction.
Yeah. He can let you for work purposes. If he is a pharmaceutical tech, he can, obviously he's going to part of his job. Okay, for work purposes only. Yeah. All right. Not quite sure that Allah or the Prophet Muhammad is okay with the language you were using during the course of this new case you were arrested for. But in case 2021 MM5795AO, of course, going to revoke that bond. In that case, going to set a new bond in the amount of $0. Condition you have no contact with the victim in that case. Appoint a public defender to represent you in any case you're not already qualified, you're not already represented on. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Timothy Irvin, sir.
Mr. Irving, here in case 2021 CF12432AO on charge of armed burglary of a dwelling and grand theft of a firearm, conspiracy to possess a firearm by convicted felon, and possession of a firearm by convicted felon. I did find probable cause for your arrest as to counts 1, 2, and 4. But I don't know who he was conspiring with.
Understood, Your Honor. See, there's
It's
no.
count 3. So when I not finding probable cause for count 3, RORU as to that count. Question for the state: should I do as to count 1 is a life offense?
Your Honor, given that count 1 is a life offense, state is asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing downtown.
Mr. Brantz.
No argument, Your Honor, pending that Arthur hearing with his attorney.
All right. Looking at Mr. Irvin's criminal history, the facts of his case is like he stole a gun from a residence, as well as allegations.
I believe it was from the pawn shop, Your Honor.
The pawn shop, sorry. Which is. So, Mr. Irvin, I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in amount of $20,000, count 2, $1,000, count 4 in amount of $150. Condition your bond, not return to the scene of the location, not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to return to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Not have any contact with victims or witnesses in this case. Not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, subject to random drug testing in this case. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. Morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Yes, sir. I'm Daquan Kerber. How you doing?
Mr. Kirk, you are here in case, is it Kirby? I'm sorry. Mr. Kirby.
Kerber. Like the Gerber baby, Kerber.
Kerber, Mr. Kerber, I'm sorry. Mr. Kerber, you're here in case 2021 CF 12433AL on charges of possession of cocaine, sale and delivery of cocaine, trafficking in cocaine of 28 grams or more, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
as to the search that resulted in these charges,
Hold on. Go ahead.
as to the search that resulted in these current charges, I believe he was pulled over for a traffic offense. And while the officer was speaking with him, he did smell the odor of cannabis, but was also provided a valid medical marijuana card. And then somewhere in the affidavit, they just started to explain to Mr. Kerber that they had probable cause to search the car, although I never saw in the affidavit the probable cause they had to search the car. And I'm worried that that is probably a motion to suppress that needs to be dealt with later, but I would try my hand at saying if the search had no PC, then would the current charges have PC?
Your Honor, he already kind of touched on it. This is a motion to suppress issue, not a PC issue. And in regards to the officer smelled a very strong odor of burnt marijuana along with raw marijuana with a medical marijuana card. However, he also saw in plain view in the center console a cup, an ashtray with burnt residue.
I'll pose a question to Mr. Brantz. I believe the case law is that they can still search for possession for the odor of cannabis. And under our medical marijuana statutes, it allows you to possess raw marijuana, but the consumption of that marijuana has to happen at home or some other location that's not a conveyance. Like, at least that's my reading of the statute. I don't know. You tell me if I'm reading of it is different than yours or.
No, I doubt that, Your Honor, but I did see a case this week that even with the medical marijuana card, the officer was arguing that they could search the car to make sure that the marijuana was stored legally, which is also.
Yeah, I don't know. We're in a brave new world that I look forward to you all navigating as litigants. But I think, at least for my considerations about whether there's probable cause for his arrest to the charges, yes, there may be a question as to the search, yes. But that doesn't, is there evidence in here where they would meet the elements of these charges? Yes, other than the sale part of it, which is, I was going to ask the state about.
Your Honor, I believe the officer just filed the sale due to the pure amount, as well as I believe.
Yeah, but there was no hand-to-hand or drug deal. This is just a traffic stop that resulted in a search.
I believe there was the digital scale and straw inside and razor blade.
So are you asking for possession with intent to sell and deliver? That's a different charge.
Your Honor, due to the indicia of sale, I believe that's what the officer was filing it under.
So these are all, besides possession with intent to sell and deliver, a lesser included offense of trafficking.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm going to do this. In count one, I'm going to set your bond a certain amount of $150. Count two, I'm going to ROR you as to that count, not finding any probable cause. Count three, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $50,000. Count four, $150. Count five, $100. Condition of your bond, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You subject to random drug and alcohol testing. Mr. Brands, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Kerber, but we want to ask him how much. I want to impose a verification on his bonds, unless he can tell me how much he's making at this food service job.
Yes, sir. I work for Kroger Delivery. I drive the truck. I made $19.50. It was $18.50, but I made $19.50. I deliver groceries to people's house. About 19. I've been there for about 2 weeks.
How many hours do you work a week?
I work 6 days a week, every day except Sunday.
All right.
8 hour shifts.
All right.
So it's about
You should-
48 hours
You should
a
have
week.
legitimate funds to post that bond. Go ahead, Ms. Brantz. You want to talk to Ms. Corber? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Gerber.
Your Honor, count 3 is $50,000 bond, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Appreciate it, Judge.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
First name Roy, last name King.
Mr. King, you're here in case 2021 CF 12422 AO on charge of possession of cocaine and possession of cannabis. You're also here in case 2021 CT 6356 AO on a driver license suspended charge. They reviewed charging affidavits, did find probable cause for your arrest in your cases. Count 1 of your felony case would be $1,000. Count 2, $100. As your traffic case is going to be $100. Bonds in those cases, condition your bonds in all your cases. No drugs and alcohol without valid prescription. Subject to random drug and alcohol testing. No operating motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You're out on bond in case 2021 or 2020? Mike. King. 2021 CF 12206 AO.
Are you sure it's not a 2020 case, Your Honor?
No, that's why I had to look it up because it got cut off. It got cut off on our face sheet.
Also, I thought maybe the numbers were larger because it was last year.
2021 CF 12422 AO.
2021 CF 12206.
And you just were released on that case. All right, of course, we're going to revoke that bond in that case. We're going to set bond in count 1 in amount of $2,000, count 2, $2,000, count 3, $1,000. We'll appoint a public defender to represent you in any case you're not already represented.
What y'all want to have bonds on, sir?
You got bonds, you can bond out, but you can stay out of trouble. I mean,
all right, thank you, sir.
You should assume that if you get arrested again, that you're gonna stay here for a while.
So I can get out right now?
You can get out right now, but just saying, stay out of trouble.
Thank you, Judge.
$2,000, 1,000. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Maurice Lodeholt.
Mr. Lodeholt, you're here in case 2021 MO 1074 AO on a charge of open container. You're also here in case 2021 CF 12416 AO on charge of carrying concealed weapon by a convicted felon. They reviewed the charging affidavits of both your cases, did find probable cause for your arrest as to both cases. We're going to, let me see something here. The last case was 2017? Ms. Page? Want to confirm? His last case was 2017? His last case was in 2017.
Last conviction, Your Honor.
Last conviction? What was his last conviction state? Do you have a more recent conviction? Mr. Lodeholt, do you have a place where you can get mail?
Yes, sir. I just signed a list in Sanford on Pine Street probably 2 days ago.
All right.
So
You have the address? You know the address of that location?
yeah, I just moved in there 2 days ago. I just know where it's at. It's off of Pine Street off of First Avenue downtown Sanford. So
Ms. Page? Would somebody be able to assist him in locating the actual address for that location before he leaves? I was asking, like PTR?
His last conviction was 2017. He has had other cases since then, but however, they've been dropped.
Any cases related to weapons?
In 2020, he had a false imprisonment and battery DV. In 2017, he had a bat DV and resisting without.
All right, Mr. Lowell, in your MO case, the court is going to release you in your own recognizance as to that case. As to your carrying concealed weapon by a convicted felon, going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $2,000. Conditioning your bond, the weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Ms. Rance, go ahead.
I believe our client would like a bond reduction. Would this court consider a $1,000 bond on count 2?
Your Honor, state would object. The
Standard bond is $4,000, right?
Is standard, and it's already been a bond reduction to $2,000. Given his history, I believe it's reasonable.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
No, I was asking, because I was thinking about ROR on him as to that first count, but he doesn't have an address, so somebody can help me get an address before he leaves, so I won't tell like this.
No argument, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Lowell, you're going to have to file a change of address with the clerk as soon as possible, because if you don't, and you get some letters about where your next court date is, you probably don't get a new court date for your ordinance case. You don't get a court date for that when you leave. But the other case, you may not get a court date for a little while, so you need to update your address with the clerk. Otherwise, you're not going to get noticed. You have an attorney, the judge is going to assume the attorney has contact with you, and then they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest because you failed to appear. So you need to update your address as soon as possible. You understand? No. All right, have a great day. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Giovanni McCree.
Ms. McCree, you're here in case 2018 CF 9900AO for a failure to appear. Judge signed your warrant, set your bond at no bond. The bonds are made at no bond. You have a great day, sir. McCree already has public defender.
Hello.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? You got to slide in front of the mic for me real quick. There you go. Tell me your name is.
Famisha McCrimmon.
Ms. McCrimmon, you're here in case 2021 CF 240AO for a failure to appear. Judge signed your warrant in this case, set your bond at no bond in this case. You already had the public defender representing you in this
Can't go
matter.
back to my program.
I don't know. You gotta talk to your judge. I can't change their warrants here, so you gotta talk to your judge about it. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Oluwatosin Ogunsije.
All right, step to the right there.
Oluwatosin Ogunsije.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 12424AO on charge of driving suspended habitual traffic offender. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond amount of $2,500 in that case. State you have a offer for this out on bond case.
Say again, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Talking to city
He's
for.
represented by private counsel in the out on bond.
Who's this attorney?
Ken Barlow.
Mr. Barlow?
And I believe Barlow, per the last note in June, was trying to file a collections motion.
A what?
I believe Barlow is trying to file a collections motion to potentially flip some Willis's, so I believe he's trying to get his license.
All right. All right, sir. Listen to me. Condition your bonds, you know you cannot operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to take any action on your case that's open right now. But if you get caught driving again, you don't have to worry about a collection motion. You're going to stay here with me. You understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
All All right, good afternoon. Good morning, sir. So you can tell me your name.
Miguel Argelis Perez Guzman.
Mr. Perez Guzman, you're here in case 2021 CF 12371 on charge of robbery. Probable cause has been determined. You're going to set your bond in the case in amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond: not have any contact with any victims or witnesses or co-defendants in that case. Not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And you may not return to the scene of the location where the incident occurred. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Carlos Pizarro.
Mr. Pizarro, you're here in case 2021 CF 12410 AO on charge of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. Going to stay your bond in count 1, amount of $1,000. Count 2, $100. Condition of your bond is that you have not possessed any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You subject to random drug testing in your case. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Oh, Your Honor, could he stay here for the next defendant as well? Oh, never mind. They don't know. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I thought, yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Pizarro, you're here in case 2021 CF 12409 AO on charge of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond.
It looks like he otherwise would qualify for
Yeah.
PCR
He doesn't qualify.
if he was able to give emergency contacts.
Let me check one thing. No, I got you. All right. Mr. Pizarro, are you still saying this 1501 Sanibel Oak Lane?
No, my mail goes there now.
Your mail goes there?
Yeah.
Do you... do you have access to your mail?
Yeah.
Like somebody gonna check it?
Yeah, I can go pick it up.
All right, I'm gonna release you on your own recognizance in this case. Condition of your release: no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. May not want to hang out with your brother. No. I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you, okay?
Yes.
Your Honor, Manuel Rodriguez, refused.
I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Rodriguez in case 2021 CF 12414 AO.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right. He's here for possession of drug paraphernalia case. Did review the charging, possession of methamphetamine, I apologize. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for his arrest as to that charge. Gonna stay his bond amount of $1,000, condition of bond, no drugs, alcohol without valid prescription, subject to random drug and alcohol testing.
Your Honor, regarding his out on bond, he was actually, I believe, ROR'd, and he was just released on that on 9/10. So state would ask that you revoke. It's been approximately 6 days, and he picked up a new law offense.
Your Honor, as he was released ROR, if you do revoke, I would just have you set a bond.
Does he release ROR because it's third degree emotion ROR or release ROR because
The arrest was 9/9, the ROR was 9/10, so it seems
okay.
just that IA, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Brands, go ahead.
As he was released ROR, I would just have you revoke and set a bond amount.
All right, I'll do this. So in 2021 2021 MM 6366 AO, of course, going to revoke that bond, going to set bond in count 1 in the amount of $2,000, count 2, $2,000. Addition to bond, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no weapons, no firearms. The weapons and firearms he has needs to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release.
Austin Sacco, refused.
All right, Mr. Sacco As a, one point, the public defender represent him in his new case.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, he refused, yeah. As to the case, you guys already represent him on the failure to appear, 2020 CF 4898 AO, bonds, no bond, is going to remain at no bond. He has a new case, 2021 CF 12425 AO, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting officer without violence, stay in bond, count 1, amount of $1,000, count 2, 100, count 3, 100, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Richard Salas.
Salas, you're here in two matters. The first one being 2021 CF 4509 AO for a failure to appear. Judge set your bond amount of $1,500. State, are you taking action as to this paraphernalia case?
State will, no bill, Your Honor.
All right, 2021 MM 6534 AO. The state of Florida has announced a no information, so I'm going to release you in your own recognizance as to that charge. I'm not taking any action on you because of that. I'm not going to take any action on your 2021 CF 9752 AO case. But Mr. Salas, you also may want to look into drug court. I mean, you're 60 years old, and you just keep wanting to seeing us on a regular basis. I mean, you want to spend the rest of your life in and out of here, I don't know. You may want to think about change.
I was gonna go to the VA. I'm a veteran. I was gonna go to the domiciliary. Try to anyway.
Yep, I mean, it's not going to happen every time the first time, so you have to keep trying until you make it work. All right, have a good day, sir. Yes. Sign all of this. Sign. Vieira. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
I'm okay.
What's your name?
Oh, Luis Antonio Vieira.
Mr. Vieira, you're here in case 2021 CF 12423 AO, charged with possession of cocaine. You reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond amount of $1,000. Issue the bond, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Was subject to random drug and alcohol testing. Not going to take any action on your out on bond cases. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in your new case. You have a great day, sir.
Oh, public question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, would you consider ROR on the current charge?
Mr. Vieira, I'm familiar with your case file. I'm actually familiar with your competency file, because I've had a couple of your cases before. So, not at this time. Yeah. Go on, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Alfonso Wilburn Jr.
Mr. Wilburn, you're here in case 2021 CF 11583 AO for possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver with a weapon and 2 counts, and possession of a firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon in your last count. Count one, I'm going to set your bond, identify probable cause for your arrest. Count one, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $5,000. I'm going to RR you as your second count, and I'm going to set bond in your last count in the amount of $2,500. Addition on your bond, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, this was a warrant case. You're RORing us on a charge.
Yeah, it still seemed to be a duplicate charge, so.
One was cocaine and one was cannabis.
Sorry, that's what it was. Gotta bring it back, I'm sorry.